Have you ever wondered why you could find a McDonald's on practically any street corner in the world, but you've probably never seen a global chain of tutoring centers? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it reveals this fundamental challenge in the world of education and, maybe, points to how technology is about to completely change the game.
I mean, really think about it. You've got fast food chains, coffee shops. They have absolutely perfected the art of global consistency. A Big Mac is a Big Mac, no matter where you are. But tutoring? It's almost always local, independent centers. Why hasn't a single tutoring brand managed to scale up in that same way? So here's how we're going to crack this puzzle. First, we'll lay out the problem itself. Then, we're going to explore this kind of wild idea that teaching is actually harder to scale than making burgers. We'll break down a teacher's job into 3 core roles, see why they're so tough to standardize, and finally, we'll look at how an AI-powered solution could transform the entire industry into something new, an education platform. All right, let's frame this core problem. What is the scaling puzzle, really? Why is it that these businesses, which offer such a valuable service, always seem to hit a wall that stops them from getting massive and going public?
The crucial point is this. It all boils down to one word: standardization. You can standardize how to make a burger, it's a production line, but you just can't write a simple recipe, a cookbook, for a great lesson. Teaching is a deeply human thing, not a mechanical process. And if you can't standardize it, you can't mass produce it. Simple as that. So this leads us to a really interesting and honestly a pretty counterintuitive question. Is it actually harder to scale a tutoring business than a global restaurant chain? You know, our intuition gets this totally backward. On one hand, you've got the insane complexity of a physical supply chain. We're talking farms, factories, shipping containers, the whole shebang. That seems super hard to scale. And on the other hand, you have teaching, just one person giving information to another. That seems easy. It's just knowledge transfer, right? But the reality is the complete opposite. Those businesses with all the complex physical stuff, they've scaled globally, while the seemingly simple business of teaching hasn't. So why? It's because making a burger can be broken down into what's called a standard operating procedure, an SOP. It's a set of step-by-step instructions that pretty much anyone can follow. Teaching just doesn't work that way. A great teacher isn't following a script. Their success comes from their personality, their intuition, their unique way of connecting. You just can't clone that. Okay, to really get why that human element is so hard to replicate, we've got to break down what a teacher actually does. And for that, we can turn to this really cool classical framework that defines a teacher's 3 core jobs. There's an ancient saying that just nails this. It says a teacher's purpose is to 传导, 授业, 解惑. Now, this old concept gives us a fantastic blueprint for what a complete education really is. It's not just one thing. It's 3 distinct but totally interconnected jobs. So let's break that down. First is 传导, imparting knowledge. That's the teacher explaining the core ideas. Second is 授业, teaching application. See, it's not enough to just know the formula. You have to learn how to use it to solve problems. And third is 解惑, resolving doubts. This is where you get to ask your questions and clear up anything you're stuck on. A truly great teacher does all 3 of those things, blending them together seamlessly. But for a business to scale, it has to standardize them. And this is where the real challenge kicks in. And this table here shows you exactly where the problem is. We've got companies that have successfully standardized one of these roles. Look at that first row. For imparting knowledge, you've got educational YouTubers who can reach millions. In the second row, teaching application, you've got places like Kumon that have perfected systematic practice. But that third role, resolving doubts, that's the missing link. Nobody has built a single scalable model that nails all 3 together. And that's the bottom line. You can be amazing at one piece of the puzzle, but to build a truly scalable education business, the kind that could actually go public, you have to create a system that delivers on all 3 of those roles, consistently, reliably, and without relying on the unique magic of one irreplaceable star teacher. So how in the world do you solve this puzzle? Well, the answer might just lie in technology, specifically creating an integrated system that's powered by AI. So, how would a system like this actually work? Well, you tackle each role with the right tech. For imparting knowledge, you use high-quality pre-recorded videos. That's basically a solved problem. For teaching application, you use AI to create and grade a limitless supply of practice problems. And for that all-important third role, resolving doubts, you use an AI-powered tutor that can give instant one-on-one help. Just imagine this learning loop for a student. You watch a video lesson, then you practice with AI-graded exercises that can handle anything from multiple choice to a complex essay. And the second you get stuck, an AI tutor is right there to answer your specific question, guiding you just like a real teacher would. Bam! You've now standardized and integrated all three roles.
Now, this isn't just about making a better tuition center. This represents a fundamental shift in the entire business model.
And this is the critical shift in thinking. To get to that massive scale needed to go public, a tuition business has to evolve. It needs to stop being a human-dependent service where your growth is limited by how many teachers you can hire and start being a technology-driven platform. And here's the key from a business standpoint. Once that platform is built, the cost of adding one more student is basically zero. You're not hiring another teacher, you're just giving another user access to the software. That is true scalability. That's the kind of model that can grow exponentially. So all of this brings us to one final, really fascinating question. As we use AI to get closer and closer to perfectly standardizing the mechanics of teaching, can a system, any system, ever truly replicate the human connection, the inspiration, the mentorship of that one teacher who changed your life? I think that's the billion-dollar question.